Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. For those of you who are watching me for the very first time, my name is James Ambroise, and on this channel we cover how to pay off debt faster than any other debt repayment method out there. We cover basic bookkeeping and accounting for someone who just started out a small business. We cover basic personal income tax to include a Schedule C, Schedule E, depreciation. I am also the author, creator of Ambroise Method 1.0 and Ambroise Method 2.0. Ambroise Method is a revolutionary debt repayment method that offers greater results in terms of reducing interest cost compared to debt snowball, debt avalanche, velocity banking. Real quick about my credentials. I have been or am a bookkeeper and accountant, QuickBooks Pro advisor, senior tax advisor, residential real estate investor, residential property manager, financial coach. And as always, before we get started with what's on the board, please allow me to shout out the name Jesus, my Lord, my God, my Creator. Thank you. All right, America, on the board we have this hypothetical scenario of somebody who filled out one of my Microsoft Excel worksheets. And the person provided me with these figures. For debt, this person has a PayPal credit card, Wells Fargo credit card, Regions Preferred personal line of credit, and one main financial personal loan. Credit limit, $10,000. The APR, 20.24%. Balance owed, $4,000. Monthly payments charge, $106.93. Availability, America, remember from prior lesson that the availability is the relationship between the credit limit and the balance owed. That relationship calls for a subtraction operation. 10,000 minus 4,000. That's how we arrive at 6,000. Okay? Credit utilization. Credit utilization is the relationship between the balance owed and the credit limit. That relationship calls for a division operation. 4,000 divided by 10,000. That's how we arrive at 40%. Okay? Payment rates charged. Payment rates charged is the relationship between the monthly payments charged and the balance owed. That relationship calls for a division operation. 106.93 divided by 4,000. That's how we arrive at 2.67%. Okay? Now, on the PayPal credit card, right now, PayPal is not currently offering any balance transfer promotions. So no balance transfer. And the statement date or the statement closing date on the PayPal was on the 2nd of the month. Now for Wells Fargo credit card, Wells Fargo is not currently offering any balance transfer promotions. Okay? And the statement date or the statement closing date was on the 3rd of the month. Okay? For Regions Preferred personal line of credit, it is a 2-3 personal line of credit. So 2-year draw, 3 years repayment. So 5 years total. And Regions is charging 3% principal and interest. So on this personal line of credit, they're charging 3% of the outstanding balance, which covers principal and interest. Okay? We're in year 1 of 5, so we're still inside 2 years, so we're still in the draw period. And the statement date or the statement closing date for Regions was on the 1st of the month. Okay? Now for one main financial personal loan, we're on year 4 of 5, so it's a 5-year term. So the statement date for one main financial was on the 3rd of the month. Okay? So we're doing a scenario for a single mom. She's on a bi-weekly pay period. Her first paycheck will come on the 5th. The next one will come 14 days later on the 19th. Okay? The total for the 2 paychecks after tax is $6,574.83. Her expenses $6,174.83. The expense, America, that's when you add all these amount that we have on the board, every single one of them, okay? So when we add them up, the total $6,174.83. Now, out of these expenses, America, 2,800 of them could go on a credit card, okay? So electricity could go on a credit card, water, credit card, YouTube TV, credit card, Netflix, credit card, cell phone, credit card, groceries could go on a credit card, fuel could go on a credit card, restaurant, dining at restaurant could go on a credit card, beauty and skincare could go on a credit card, clothes and shoes could go on a credit card, car insurance could go on a credit card. All these could go on a credit card, and when we add them up, the total $2,800, okay? Per debt, $30,500. The debt, that's when we add all these balances that we have on the board. 4,000 plus 3,000 plus 15,500 plus 8,000. That's how we arrive at 30,500. Now her cash flow, $400. America, I remember from prior lesson that cash flow is the relationship between the income and the expense. That relationship calls for a subtraction operation, $6,574.83 minus $6,174.83. That's how we arrive at $400 in cash flow. Okay. Today we're doing case study number 9, and today's date is November 22nd. So November 22, 2024. Okay? Now, from past lesson in America, I briefly mentioned to you guys about 2 more lessons that I need to cover. One of them will be event priority. The other one will be 3 alternative accounts simultaneously. Okay? I still haven't covered these 2 lessons yet. The reason why, these are more advanced type items, okay? So I want to make sure you guys get the foundation first before I start introducing more advanced type item, okay? But real quick though, an event priority, America, for our purpose, is an event that takes priority or precedence over everything else. Hence the name event priority. Okay? One of the example could be, for example, your money to a friend or a family member, and then for whatever reason you guys got into a fight or something. So now you're trying to hurry up and pay this person, okay? So even though that's not the proper account for us to work on, but you're just trying to get rid of the loan that you have from that friend or family members, okay? So we refer to this type of scenario as event priority. Another example could be, say for example that you are dissatisfied with a creditor, okay? We're not talking about friends and family now. We're talking about an actual lender, an actual creditor, like a Chase, a Wells Fargo, Bank of America. And for whatever reason you are dissatisfied with, I don't know, the way that they're doing business. Maybe customer service kind of suck. You know, whatever your reasoning is, you're just trying to get rid of that account. So even though that's not the proper account we normally work on, but for that kind of scenario, again, we're gonna try to attack that account for you, okay? And we call it event priority. All right? And again, folks, an event priority is an event that takes priority or takes precedence over everything else, okay? There could be even more examples, but I was just using these 2 examples just to illustrate my point, okay? And 3 alternative accounts simultaneously. That's when we're using not one, not two, but three separate alternative accounts at the same time. So that's having movement of income and movement of expenses, and not one, not two, but three separate alternative accounts. These two lessons, America, going to be somewhere down the road, okay? And again, they are more advanced type items, so I do not want to cover them yet because they're kind of complex, okay? So again, I want you guys to get the foundation first, okay, before I start introducing more advanced type items like event priority or three alternative accounts simultaneously, okay? These two lessons will be coming in the future, okay? All right, America. I'll give you about 5-10 seconds to take a look at what's on the board, and then we're going to start with the exercise. All right, America. Now remember that Ambroise Method calls for a series of steps. And those steps have to be taken at least once a month. And the step, for those of you who missed that lesson, segregate, compare, transfer, repeat. Then we have the C.A.R.E. C.A.R.E. stands for C for condition, A for adjustment, R for restriction, E for exceptions to the strategy, because sometimes we might have some condition to the strategy. So we might have to make some adjustment to the strategy. We might have some restriction to the strategy, and we might have some exceptions to the strategy, okay? Then cash flow, large payment, then we have to insert the what? WHT. W, which account or accounts to use. H, how much of a payment to send to this account. And T, to pay down or off which debt. These are the steps for Ambroise Method, and those steps have to be taken, America, at least once a month. And again, real quick, the steps again: segregate, compare, transfer, repeat, cash flow, large payment. Then we have to insert the what? Which account or accounts to use, how much of a payment to send to these accounts, and to pay down or off which debt. Okay? All right, America, now let's segregate. The way we segregate, America, we segregate by account types. That's looking at the list of debt, and I prefer my revolving credit account on top and my installment credit account at the bottom. PayPal credit card, that's a credit card, that's revolving credit account. Wells Fargo credit card, another credit card, that's revolving credit account. Regions preferred personal line. Regions is in a draw period. Okay, we're in year 1 of 5. It's a 2-year draw. Okay, so because we're in a draw period, for our purpose, when we're using Ambroise Method, this region will be considered a revolving credit account. Okay, for our purpose. So now, so far, we have revolving, and one main financial personal loan is an installment credit account. So we have an installment. So 3 revolving, 1 installment. Okay, and again, when we segregating, I prefer my revolving on top and my installment at the bottom. So the 3 revolvings are on top, the installment, one main financial, is at the bottom. Okay? And to save time, I've already rearranged the list. Okay? So as far as segregation, America, our list is perfect. Okay? Next, America, we compare. And the way we compare by APR between account types. Remember, we have 3 revolving and 1 installment. So between the revolvings, the way I like to compare, I prefer the higher APR on top and the lower APR at the bottom. So PayPal 20.24 is higher than 18, is higher than 15. So PayPal is listed first. Okay? Then 18 is listed next, and 15 is listed last. Okay? Between those 3. Okay? One main financial personal loan is a different kind, so it's at the bottom by itself. So if we had more installment credit account, we'll compare them by APR, highest to lowest. But in this example, we only have one installment credit account, so it's by itself, okay? So between the three, higher and one main by itself, okay? So as far as comparing America, our list is perfect. And when we compare in America, we're trying to identify the enemy. We're trying to identify the troublemaker. And the account that has a higher APR is generally the enemy. The account that has a higher APR is generally the troublemaker. So for this example, one main financial, 33%, is the troublemaker. Okay. Next, America, we transfer. Okay. And the way we transfer, we always try to relocate balances from an account that has a higher APR. We've identified that one main financial has the higher APR. There goes the balance. So we always try to relocate balances from the high APR, and we're going to try to dump it onto lower APR account. Okay, since we have multiple lower APR accounts, okay, so we're going to try to relocate balances. So some of that 8,000. So we're going to, from highest APR, we're going to try to dump it into the absolute lowest APR. Okay, so absolute highest 33%, absolute lowest 15%. So let's see if we could dump some of that 8,000 onto the Regent's personal line of credit. Okay. America, when we take a look at Regent's preferred personal line of credit, the credit utilization 96.88%. So we're already in the 90s. Okay. Credit limit 16,000. Or the original loan amount 16,000. Balance owed 15,500. Okay. Availability 500. Okay. We are too close to the limit, to our max 16,000. And again, balance owed 15,500. Okay. Too close to the credit limit. Okay. For that reason, America, we're not going to dump any of that 8,000 onto the Regent's preferred because we are too close to the credit limit. Okay. So we cannot do any transfer in this example. Okay. Too close to the credit limit. Monthly payment charge for 65, availability is only $500. Okay. So now we cannot do anything with Regents, okay, because we're too close to the credit limit. Trying to be a little more careful. So now we're going to try to relocate from absolute highest to the next lowest account. Well, the next lowest one now is Wells Fargo credit card, 18%. Okay. Now, when we take a look at the Wells Fargo, the credit utilization 93.75%. Credit limit 3,200. Balance owed 3,000. Availability $200. So we are too close to the credit limit on the Wells Fargo. And again, credit limit 3,200. Balance owed 3,000. We only have $200 available. So we're not gonna relocate any of that 8,000 and trying to dump it onto the Wells Fargo. Too close to the credit limit. Okay? So now, America, we have to go from absolute highest to the next lowest APR account. Absolute highest, still one main financial 33%. The next lowest one now is PayPal, 20.24%. Okay. PayPal credit limit 10,000, balance owed 4,000, availability 6,000. Now we have room. Okay. America, whenever we see availability from a lower APR account, 2024, then we have balances from a higher APR account, 33%. We will always try to relocate some of the balances from the lower APR account and trying to dump it in, from the higher APR account, trying to dump into the lower APR account. Okay. So that's exactly what we're going to do. But James, on our example, you told us that our PayPal is not offering any balance transfer promotions. So how then are you going to be able to relocate some of that 8,000 trying to dump it into the PayPal because PayPal is not offering any balance transfer promotions. Okay. America, remember on our method, Ambroise Method, we are not handicapped or limited by what the big bank, the big creditors could do for us. Even though PayPal is not offering any balance transfer promotion, we'll still execute balance transfers, okay, without the help of PayPal, okay? And remember from past lesson, I told you guys that we have at least 7 different ways on how we execute balance transfer. One of them is, we call it a normal type of balance transfer. Put that right here. Okay. That another type is mix and match. Okay. Then we have some artificial type of balance transfer. One of them is Plastiq. Melio or Melio. Similar entities. Okay. Then we have the 2 superstars, Ambroises, charge, pay, technique, and we have 2 variations of this one. One of them we call normal, okay, and we have Ambroises, charge, pay, technique. The other variation, we call it inducement. Okay? So, 7 different ways at least that we could transfer balance from one account to another. So normal, 1, mix and match, 2, Plastiq, 3, Melio, 4, similar entities that like a catch-all, 5, Ambroise charge pay technique normal, 6, Ambroise charge pay technique inducement, 7. Okay? And we cover all these items, America, extensively from past lessons, okay? And today we're going to employ Ambroise's charge pay technique normal, okay? And for those of you who missed that lesson, Ambroise's charge pay technique normal is a technique where you charge, okay, the lower APR account. Okay, then you pay the higher APR account. Okay, with available cash on hand. Okay. All right, and that's why we're going to use, like I aforementioned, Ambroise's charge pay technique normal in order to facilitate our transfer. Okay, so we're going to charge the lower APR account. So between PayPal and One Main Financial, PayPal has the lower APR account, so we're going to charge PayPal by the amount or the bills that could go on a credit card, because PayPal is a credit card. Okay? And earlier we identified that all the bills that could go on a credit card, the total is $2,800. So we're going to charge PayPal the low APR account. That's PayPal. $2,800. So PayPal will get increased by $2,800. Okay? And later on, we're going to pay the higher APR account, One Main Financial, 33%. So we're going to pay One Main Financial. So One Main Financial will get decreased by at least 2,800. Okay? That's how we're going to facilitate our transfer. Whatever expenses that could go on a credit card, we're going to charge the lower APR account with. Okay? Now, America, under a normal type of balance, under a normal way, a traditional way of paying off debt, you'll use your checking account. In the checking account, we'll pay the bills or expenses. Okay? For 2,800 in this example. Okay? Now, when we are employing Ambroise charge pay technique, instead of using the checking account to pay the bills and expenses, we're going to use the checking account. This time to pay the higher APR account. And the higher APR account, One Main Financial. And we're going to use the lower APR account to now take care of the bill, the expenses. Okay. And the lower APR account, again, PayPal. So, instead of using the checking account to pay the bills and expenses, you're going to use PayPal to pay the bills, the expenses. Okay? Now, the money now, remember, we did not use the funds in the checking account. That will be in the checking account. So now the funds in the check is free now to do whatever you want to do with it. So we're going to use the fund in the checking account to pay the higher APR account, One Main Financial. That's how we're going to facilitate our transfer. And after everything's said and done, PayPal will get increased by 2,800. And One Main Financial will get decreased. Once you send the payment from the checking account to One Main Financial, it will get decreased by 2,800. All right, America? This is Ambroise's charge pay technique. And again, it's a detailed process where we charge the lower APR account, PayPal. Then we're going to pay the higher APR account with available cash on hand from the checking account. All right? That's how we're going to, again, facilitate our transfer. All right? So now let's run some numbers. All right? PayPal now will get increased. The credit limit still going to stay the same, 10,000. Okay. APR, 20.24%. Balance owed. Remember now, we say we're going to charge PayPal. We're going to put all these bills, okay, that could go on a credit card. We're going to put them on PayPal. And the total, 2,800. Okay, so it's going to be PayPal here. PayPal. PayPal, PayPal, okay. So PayPal will take care of all of these at some point. Okay. So on paper, though, we're trying to figure out our numbers, so we're going to charge PayPal right now. So balance owed, 4,000 plus 2,800. Okay? So 4 plus 2 looks like we're at 6,800. Monthly payments charged. Remember, the statement date on PayPal was on the 2nd of the month. Let's assume we're doing all these transactions on the 4th. Okay, so after the statement date, but before the due date. I remember, America, from prior lessons, whenever we're doing transaction after the statement date, but before the due date. So even though the balance are going up or down, the monthly payments charge still gonna stay the same. Okay, because it's after the statement closing date, but before the due date. So the monthly payments charge still gonna stay 106.93. Okay. Availability. Availability is credit limit minus balance owed, so 10,000 minus 6,800, so availability 3,200. Credit utilization is balance owed divided by credit limit, so 6,800 divided by 10,000. So we had 68%. Okay. And payment rate charge. Payment rate charge is monthly payment charge divided by balance owed. So 106.93 divided by 6,800. So we are at 1.57%. Okay? Wells Fargo. We did not touch Wells Fargo, so Wells Fargo will stay the same. 3,200, 18%, 3,000, 74.60, $200, 93.75, 2.49%. Okay. Regions. Preferred, personal line. Again, we did not touch regions, so 16,000. Regions will stay the same, 15%, 15,500, 465, $500, 96.88, and 3%. Okay. One main financial. Okay. Personal loan. Okay. 15,000. Okay. 33%. Okay. Okay. So at some point when the income start coming in, we're going to pay one main financial, but right now the income is not, the paychecks has not started coming in yet, so one main financial for now will stay the same, 8,000, because the paycheck will start coming in on the 5th, okay? Monthly payments charge, $513.30. It's a personal loan, so the availability doesn't matter. The credit utilization doesn't matter, but let's run it just for good measure. Credit utilization is going to be balance owed divided by credit limit. So nothing's changed, so everything should still stay the same. 6.42%. Okay? Okay, so far we're only doing one leg of the transfer, just the charge part. Later on, as the income or the paychecks start coming in, we're going to take care of the pay part. Okay? All right. All right, America. Remember, each time that you are able to do this kind of balance transfers, where it doesn't cost you nothing in balance transfer fees, because when you employ Ambroise's charge pay technique, it costs you 0% in fees. Okay? You are in essence disrupting $1 billion industry. because big bank, big creditors make billions in balance transfers and other fees. Okay? So remember, you don't need them in order to execute balance transfers when you are able to employ one of our artificial type of balance transfers, which is Ambroise's charge pay technique. Okay? All right, America, I'll give you about 5-10 seconds to take a look at what's on the board, and then we're going to continue with the exercise. All right, America, going back to our steps. Segregate, we're done with segregation. Compare, done. Transfers, done. Now, can we repeat the transfer? Okay. Can we do more transfers? Okay. Regions was too close to the credit limit. Wells Fargo was too close to the credit limit. After we charge PayPal on paper, PayPal still have availability. Now he went from 6,000 to 3,200. That's still availability on a lower APR account. Okay. And after the payment, we're still going to have balance on a higher APR account. Okay. So what else could we do? Because remember, these are all the different ways we could do balance transfers. Okay. And so far, we've done this one. Okay. Can we employ Plastiq? Okay. Well, let's take a look at the list of our list of debt. Okay. There's a house rent, $2,000 bucks. Okay. We could use Plastiq for this house rent. Okay. But Plastiq charges 2.9%. Okay. As of today, 2.90% in order to facilitate the transfer. That's the fee that Plastiq charges. Okay. So if we try to pay this house rent $2,000 and it'll cost us 2.90%, well, let's run the numbers to see how much the fee is going to be. So it would have been 2,000 times 2.90%. So the fee would have been times 2.90%, 58 bucks. Okay. So if we use Plastiq, it'll cost us at least 58 bucks. It'll be more than 58 bucks because remember, we'll be charging the lower APR account. Okay. But with Plastiq, it takes time before the landlord or whoever is responsible, the property manager, before they could receive that 2,000. Meanwhile, you've already charged the account. So interest is being accumulated, from the date of the transaction. Okay? So you charge the account. When you use Plastiq, you charge the account, but you do not get the benefit of the payment until at a later time. So all this time in between, you have to add the interest. Okay? Say for example, let's say we did this transaction on the 4th. Okay? Let's say we'll charge PayPal 2,000. Okay? Using Plastiq. Okay? So on the 4th, they process the transaction. Okay? So you start incurring interest right away on the 4th. Okay? Plastiq usually takes 7 to 10 days, 5, 7, 10 days before the management company or the landlord will receive the 2,000. Okay? So that's, if it's 5 days, that's 5 days additional interest. If it's 7 days, that's 7 days additional interest. If it's 10 days, that's 10 days additional interest on top of the fee. Because the fee is to Plastiq, but the interest will be to PayPal. PayPal will start charging on the day that they process the transaction. Okay? So this 58 will be more than 58. Not only you losing 58 to Plastiq, but you're also losing, okay, interest to PayPal, okay? So the fee gonna be a little bit higher than 58 bucks, okay? So let's go worst case scenario. Let's say you was only 58 bucks, okay? Remember, all you do in America, you'll try to exchange one interest rate for the other. You'll try to exchange 33% for 2024, okay? Because the way it would work, once the management company receive, or the landlord receive that 2,000, okay? Now, you're going to have 2,000 additional in the checking account that you could send somewhere else. In this case, you're gonna send it to one main financial personal loan, okay? So, once all these payments got posted, you'll be exchanging 33% for 2024. So 33 minus 2024, okay? Let's run it. So a difference of 12.76%, okay? That's how much you're saving, the difference between those two APRs, okay? So you would have been, your saving then now would have been 12.76 times 2,000, because if you're trying to use Plastiq to pay this house rent, it'll be the difference in interest times 2,000. So 12.76 times 2,000, okay? A savings of $2.5520 for the year divided by 12. Savings of, it would have been a savings of $21.27, okay? So let's assume the fee again would have been 58 bucks, okay? Worst case scenario, and again, it'll be more than 58 bucks because it'll take Plastiq 5, 7, or 10 days before the landlord will receive that 2,000, okay? But let's assume your best case scenario was 58 and you're saving 21.27, okay, per month. So 58 divided by 21.27 for the month, okay? 58 bucks divided by 21.27. So you'll be a little over two months, okay, to recoup the fee that you were forced to pay to Plastiq, okay? Little over 2 months, okay? Meanwhile, you could employ Ambroise's charge pay technique the following month, because remember, we could still put another 2,800, okay? Just like we did earlier on PayPal, because PayPal still have availability. So on the following cycle, we could still use Ambroise's charge pay technique again, okay? Where it doesn't cost us anything. So now it becomes Ambroise charge pay technique versus Plastiq, okay? Plastiq gonna charge us $58, even though we having a savings of 12.76% between the, between the difference from those two APRs, okay? But it's still gonna take us a little over 2 months to recoup that fee. Meanwhile, on the following cycle, we could just employ Ambroise charge pay technique where it doesn't cost us anything, okay? So Ambroise charge pay technique versus Plastiq, in this case, we're going to wait until the following cycle to employ Ambroise charge pay technique again, okay? So we are not going to use Plastiq in this particular example, okay? All right, America, to recap, okay? We still have availability on a lower APR account. Then we have balance on a higher APR account. So 8,000 minus the 28, we're still gonna have balance on a higher APR account, okay? Whenever we have availability, America, from a lower APR account, we have balances on a higher APR account. We're always trying to relocate this balance, trying to dump them onto the lower APR account, okay? But the next available tool that we have, we've already used Ambroise charge pay technique for the cycle. The next available tool that we have is Plastiq, okay? But Plastiq charges a fee, okay? So America, I told you guys from past lesson, whenever we have to pay a fee to do something, we cannot go blindly and start doing things. We have to first run the numbers, okay? So when we run the numbers, we know the only thing that could go in Plastiq right now, one of the items that could go in Plastiq is this house rent, $2,000, okay? Because Plastiq will allow you to use your credit card to pay your rent, okay? And the card brand could be a Visa, could be a MasterCard. This PayPal credit card could be PayPal Visa credit card or PayPal MasterCard credit card. It doesn't matter, okay? Plastiq will allow these two card brands to make payment to a landlord, to make payment to a property manager, okay? So, we could at least use Plastiq for this 2,000, okay? So 2,000 times the fee, 2.90%, it'll cost us 58 bucks, okay? But we know it'll cost us more than 58 bucks because when Plastiq processes the transaction, it will come at least 5, 7, or 10 days, okay, before the payment arrives to the destination account. In this case, the landlord or the property manager, okay? Whoever's servicing this house rent. All right? So, 58 bucks, okay? So now we're trying to figure out how much savings, okay? Because once this house rent is paid, okay, the funds in the checking account that would be in a checking account that would normally be earmarked to take care of the rent, now the funds is free because remember, Plastiq will take care of it. So now the funds will be free from the checking account. So now from the checking account, you could send the funds wherever you want. In this case, we know we're gonna send it to One Main Financial if we decide to go with Plastiq, okay? Now, when we run the numbers, again, 58 bucks, we're exchanging 33% because we're gonna send a payment to One Main Financial. But we're gonna be charging PayPal, okay? 2,000 bucks, okay? So the exchange is 33 from One Main Financial and 2024 from PayPal, okay? The difference is 1276. So we're saving 12.76% on 2,000. 12.76% on 2,000 is 21.27 per month, okay? So it would have cost us 58 bucks, and each month we're saving 21.27. So how long would it take to recoup that 58 bucks if it was only 58 bucks? So 58 bucks divided by 22.27 in savings, it'll take us a little over more than 2 months to recoup the fee, okay? So 2 months, meanwhile, on the next cycle, we could use again Ambroise's charge pay technique where it doesn't cost us anything. And it's only one more cycle. That's like 1 month versus more than 2 months. So in this scenario, it doesn't make sense to use Plastiq to pay the rent, okay? So we're not gonna do anything. So we're not gonna repeat the transfer, okay? We're only gonna do one transfer, Ambroise's charge pay technique, okay? But if the number did work, then we'll be using Plastiq as well, okay? So we do not go blindly and start doing things. We run numbers first to see if the numbers works. If the numbers doesn't work, okay, we don't go with it, okay? All right, so now, America, we cannot repeat the transfer, okay? All right, so let's go. What's the next steps? The next steps now, can we use cash flow or can we make a large payment? Okay. Single mom during this period did not receive any income tax refund. Single mom during this period did not receive any bonus check. Single mom during this period did not receive any additional funds or money that would consider or represent a large payment. So we do not have any large payment. In this case, we're going to be dealing with cash flow. Okay? So now, America, let's figure out how much our new cash flow is. Okay? And the way we determine our cash flow, we take a look at the original monthly payments charge minus the new monthly payments charge. Remember, our monthly payments charge hasn't changed. Why? Because we're doing all these transactions after the statement closing date. Okay? So, as far as cash flow, we have no increase, no decrease. Okay? So, which means our cash flow will stay at $400. All right? So now we've done with cash flow. Next, America, is to answer the rest of the question. W, which account or accounts to use. Okay. America, on our method, Ambroise Method, we have two different type of users. We have what we call a normal user and we have what we call an advanced user. And again, folks, on our method, we have these two different type of users. So Ambroise Method, normal user, and advanced user. Okay? And when you're paying off debt, America, you're going to come across three main elements, three main assignments, three main jobs. And these elements, these assignments, these jobs are transfer, alternative account, and cash flow. That's our tag. Okay? So T for transfer, A for alternative account, and C for cash flow. Okay? Again, when you're paying off debt, America, you're going to come across these three items generally. Okay? On our method for normal user uses transfer, normal user uses cash flow. Okay? A normal user on our method, America, does not utilize the alternative account. Why? Because they don't quite understand the alternative account yet. An advanced user on our end uses every single item that we have on the board. An advanced user uses transfer, an advanced user uses alternative account, and an advanced user utilizes cash. Okay? That's the difference. Okay? Now, if you fall under a normal user category, America, obviously a normal user takes advantage of transfer, takes advantage of cash flow. Okay? So, after you did transfer earlier, we did one leg of the transfer. Then now you're going to take advantage of cash flow. So for a normal user, all the bills, every item, you're going to pay minimum payment on every item. Okay? And the account that is the higher APR, any excess, that's where the excess is going to go. Okay? So the account that has a higher APR is Women Financial Personal Loan. So the excess, which was the 2,800, plus cash flow 400. Okay? So in addition to the minimum payment, that's going to go to one main financial. Okay. You're going to have an additional 2,800 going to one main financial. Remember, during the transfer process. Okay. Okay. Then we have an additional 400 cash flow going to one main financial. Okay. For a normal user. Okay. And again, every single account gonna receive the bare minimum payment in the excess. Okay. The excess was the 28. Okay. Since we're employing Ambroise discharge pay technique plus the 400. Okay. So the excess in this example will be 3,200 going to one main financial, in addition to the minimum payment for a normal user. Okay? But now, America, we're doing a scenario for an advanced user. Okay? For an advanced user, America, on our method, we're always trying to identify 3 main accounts. Okay? The first one is the first in line. Write this down. Put it right here instead. The first one is a first in line account, or the account for greater results. The next account is the next in line account, or the account for greater liquidity. And finally, the alternative account. For movements of income and movement of expenses. Okay. And again, folks, for an advanced user on our method, we're always trying to identify these 3 main accounts. Okay. Okay. The first in line account, or the account for greater results, the next in line account, or the account for greater liquidity, and finally the alternative account for movements of income and movement of expenses. Okay? All right, so now let's try to figure out our account. The first in line account, or the account for greater results, is generally the account that has the higher APR. Okay? Earlier we identified that one main financial has the higher APR. So it will be one main financial. Let me just abbreviate it. OMF. Okay. The next in line account, or the account for greater liquidity. All right, let's take a look. Okay. One main financial is a personal loan, so one main financial can offer us greater liquidity. PayPal credit card, it's a credit card. PayPal co-offers liquidity. Wells Fargo credit card, it's a credit card. It co-offers liquidity. Regions Preferred Personal Line of Credit, it's a personal line of credit that is in a draw period. That also offers liquidity. Okay. PayPal co-offers liquidity, America, up to bills that could go on a credit card, $2,800. Wells Fargo credit card co-offers liquidity up to bills that could go on a credit card, $2,800. Regions Preferred Personal Line, there's no restriction on the Regions Preferred Personal Line. Okay, so we're not restricted to just 2,800. We could put all our expenses, if we would like, to the Regions Preferred Personal Line. Okay, so Regions, for that reason, will offer us greater liquidity. And finally, America, the alternative account for movements of income and movement of expenses. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, we have one main financial personal loan, that's an installment loan. So one main financial is not an alternative account. Remember, for our purpose, an alternative account is an account where income could come in and expenses could go out. In other words, deposit could go in and withdrawal could go out. Okay, so we cannot do that on the one main financial personal loan. PayPal, income could come in, expenses could go out. Wells Fargo, income could come in, expenses could go out. Regions, income could go in, expenses could go out. And again, we have three separate accounts to choose from. Okay. For this alternative account for movements of income and movements of expenses, we generally look for the account that has the higher APR. Between the three that we could choose from, the one that has the higher APR is PayPal, 20.24%. which is higher than 18, which is higher than 15, okay? So the alternative account for movements of income and movement of expenses will be PayPal. Okay? All right, so now we've identified our three accounts for an advanced user, all right? Okay, America, so let's figure out our numbers. Okay? All right, the regular payment. Okay. Then we have bills that could go on a credit card. / pay, since we're employing today Ambroise's charge pay technique. Okay. And we have other remaining bills. Okay. And we have cash flow. Okay. And possible absorption. Okay. And here we have our total. All right. The regular payment on the one main financial, the regular payment is $513.30. Okay. Bills that could go on a credit card / pay. Remember earlier we employed Ambroise charge pay technique where we charge PayPal and then as the paychecks start coming in, we're gonna pay. Okay, the higher APR account, one main financial. So bills that could go on a credit card / pay portion, okay, will go to one main financial, and it was $2,800 because $2,800 we charge PayPal $2,800, so later on we could pay one main financial $2,800. Okay. Other remaining bills, let's skip that for now. Cash flow, $400. Remember, America, that cash flow is better served in the account that has the higher APR. Okay, so cash flow will go to one main financial. One main financial has the higher APR, 33%. And absorption, let's leave absorption alone for now. Okay. Regions, regular payment on the regions is $465. And regular payment on the PayPal is $106.93. Okay. All right. So now other remainder bills. So remember, Our total income is going to be $6,574.83. So it'll be $6,574.83 minus all these amounts. Minus 513.30 minus 2,800 bucks minus 400 minus 465 minus 106.93. So all the remainder bills that could not go on a credit card, or the remainder bills in general, the account that offer greater liquidity, which is Regions preferred personal line of credit, Regions will take care of that. So the remainder bills will go to Regions, $2,289.60. Okay. Let me double check my number one more time. 6574.83, 6574.83 minus 513.30 minus 28 minus 400 minus 465 minus 106.93. All right, perfect. Okay. All right. Now, America, when we take a look at the Regions, we have two payments going to the Regions preferred personal line of credit. We have 465, which is the regular payment on the Regions preferred personal line. Then we have $2,289.60, which is all the remainder bills. Okay. Regions America is at 15%. Okay. And we have two payments going to the Regions. We do not want to send too much payment to an account that is at 15% when we have a 33% account on the board. For that reason, the account that offers greater results, which is One Main Financial, will absorb one of these two amounts. Okay? So, with Regions, we know 2,289 is to take care of all the bills, which is the allowance, because these cannot go on a credit card, 100 bucks. The prepaid college, 115. Okay. The house rent, 2,000. Okay. Plus Wells Fargo, 74.60. Okay. And when we add them up, so let's make sure it is in fact $2,289.60. So it's 100 plus 115 plus 2,000 plus 74.60. Sure enough, $2,289.60. Okay. Okay. So that will be Regions over here. Regions will take care of that one. Regions will take care of this one. And Regions will take care of this one. Okay. Alright. And again, we have 465, which is the minimum payment on the Regions. Then we have 2,289.60, or the remainder bills, which is the allowance for a daughter, prepaid college, house rent, and Wells Fargo. Okay? So we know that $2,289.60 going to take care of these four, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So we're going to try to absorb the smaller amount for 465 bucks. Okay? But when we take a look again at the Regions preferred credit limit, original loan amount $16,000. Balance owed $15,500. America, we are too close to the credit limit. Okay? For that reason, we're not going to have a full absorption, like I mentioned from a past lessons. we're going to have either a no absorption or a partial absorption. Okay? So this is when, America, you have to know how regions arrive at this 465 that they're charging for monthly payment charge or regular monthly payment. Okay? Let's take a look at our notes. Regions charges 3% principal and interest. So 3% of the outstanding balance. We're assuming the outstanding balance was 15,500. And again, let's run it. 15,500 times 3%, sure enough, 465 bucks. Okay? But regions, America, is at 15%. Okay? And again, they're charging that 3%, which is 465, which cover principal and interest. Okay? So if it is 465, that is both principal and interest. Okay? Okay? Let's figure out how much will go to principal and how much will go to interest out of that 465 bucks. Okay? And again, the interest rate on the region is 15%. Okay? Okay? If we keep things simple, we do 15% divided by 12. So the interest portion will be about 1.25 for the month. Okay? So 15 times 50, 15,500 times 15% divided by 12 will be the interest portion. 193.75. Okay? If that's how regions arrive at the interest portion. Okay? And again, 15,500 times 15% divided by 12. We are 193.75. Okay? So, but total, it is 465, which comprised of both principal and interest, which made up of both principal and interest. Okay? So 465, America, minus 193.75. So the principal portion will be 271.25. Okay? This is the breakdown. 465 is made up of both principal and interest, and when we break it down, 193.75 will be principal, will be interest, and 271.25 will be principal. Okay? If region use a simple formula. Okay? And again, like I mentioned to you guys from past lessons, gotta be aware how these lenders arrive at these minimum payment or regular monthly payments. Okay? If you guys are unsure how a lender arrive at that payment, you could just call them up or take a look at the paperwork that they gave you when you first sign up for whatever it was. If it's credit card, okay, look at the terms and all the paperwork. If you can't find it, call them up. Have them send it over to you. Or have somebody from customer service explain it to you. Okay? Gotta know if you're gonna use that kind of strategy, America, gotta know how they arrive, okay, at this monthly payments charged. Okay? In a case where you're gonna do either a partial absorption. Okay? Alright? Because you can do a full absorption, you're too close to the credit limit. Alright? So, and again, they're not always using the type of formula that we're using here. Okay? Alright. So now, America, we're going to at least try to pay our interest. Okay? So this 465 will no longer be 465, it will be 193.75. Okay? And the principal that will normally be earmarked for that account, or the excess payment that will normally be earmarked for that account, that's the amount we're going to absorb So we're going to absorb the $271.25. Okay? And again, if we have the options to send principal to a lower APR account, regions 15%, and we have the options to send principal to a higher APR account, One Main Financial, we will achieve greater results by sending the principal to the higher APR account instead. Okay? America, this is how you pay off debt. Not this nonsense that the other debt repayment groups are doing. Debt Snowball Group, Debt Avalanche Group, Velocity Banking Group. Like I mentioned from a past lesson, over at Ambroise Method, we are the shepherd, shepherding the flock. All right, America, so now let's figure out our total. Okay. By the way, PayPal only have one payment going to PayPal, so we cannot absorb anything because they have one single payment going to PayPal, and it's $106.93. Remember, that is the minimum payment, $106.93. You have to at least pay the minimum payment. Okay. Earlier, we would charge PayPal $2,800. Well, it's a charge, it's not a payment. Okay. This is the payment, $106.93. $2,800, that expense is going up. $106.93, that's income coming in. Okay? This one was not a payment. That one is. Okay? When you have one single payment going to PayPal, $106.93. Okay? Okay, now there's no need to break that down even further because it's only the minimum payment. We don't have anything above the minimum payment. Okay? This one, we have something above the minimum payment. Okay? Why we're able to do that? Because we have an additional $2,289.60 going to the regions. That's why we're able to play with this one. We have two payments on this one. Here we only have one single payment, and it is the minimum. Gotta at least pay the minimum. Okay? All right. And again, going back and trying to figure out our total, $513.30. $2,800, $400 plus $271.25. Okay. So now One Main Financial will receive a total payment of $3,984.55. Okay. Regions total will be, let's see, $193.75 plus $2,289.60. 193.75, 228.960. So regions will have a total of $2,483.35. Okay. And PayPal, $106.93. $106.93. Okay. All right. Again, going back to our step, which account? We know we're going to use these three separate accounts for an advanced user. Which account will be One Main Financial, regions, and PayPal. How much of a payment to send to this account, to One Bank Financial, 3984. 398455, 398455, regions $2,483.35, and PayPal 106.93. Okay, and the last and final steps, or last and final questions that we have to answer: to pay down or off which debt? Okay. So that'll be our workflow. Okay, so our workflow. Remember, single mom get paid on the 5th. And single mom gets paid on the 19th. Okay. She's on a bi-weekly pay period, so let's assume these two paychecks were equal. Her total will be 657,483. So 657,483 divided by 2. So on the first paycheck, she'll receive $3,287.42. That's round up. And on the next paycheck, she'll receive $3,287.41. Okay? Remember, we're going to be dealing with these three main accounts. One main financial, okay, regions, and PayPal. Sorry. Right here. One main financial, regions, PayPal. Okay? And again, for an advanced user, we're dealing with these three accounts. Okay? So, one main financial. This is when in America you have to pay attention to the due dates. Okay? Especially for bills, expenses that you need cash or cash equivalent for. Electricity due on the 28, 28, 28, 28, 28. All these could go on the credit card, PayPal. Groceries, there's no due date for groceries. I guess single mom could do her groceries towards the end of the month in order to help this account. Fuel, $400. Single mom could put fuel in the vehicle once a week. Okay, and this fuel might create a problem because it's once a week, but there's enough availability on the PayPal. Okay, $3,200 after the transfer, after the payment. Okay, or $6,000 before the payments. Okay, so this fuel's not gonna be a problem because we have enough availability. Okay, and again, we're charging the lower APR account so we could pay the higher APR account. Okay, so that's a good exchange. Okay. Restaurant has no due date. Okay, I guess single mom could go to the restaurant towards the end of the month in order to give this account a boost. Okay. Beauty and skincare, okay, on the 28th. Okay. I mean, there's no due date, so single mom could shop for beauty and skincare towards the end of the month. Clothes and shoes, there's no due date. Single mom could shop for clothes and shoes towards the end of the month. Car insurance due on the 26th, and again, that's towards the end of the month. So the first paycheck will cover anything between the 5th all the way through the 18th. Okay. So all these are after the 5th, after the 18th, because they're due on the 28th, except for the ones that do not have a due date, that don't have a due date. But in any event, single mom has enough availability from the PayPal to pay these accounts. Okay? All right? So we have no issue there. The allowance due on the 20th, and again after the 5th, after the 18th for the first paycheck. Prepaid college due on the 26th, and again that's after the 5th, after the 18th. So no issue there. House rent is due on the 8th. Now this house rent will create a little problem, because 8th is between 5 and 18. Okay. So since 8th is between 5 and 18, we have to take care of this house rent on the first paycheck. Okay. And for the house rent, landlord or management company needs cash or checks. Okay. So we cannot pay that with a credit card. So the account that offer greater liquidity, like I aforementioned, that's the account that's going to take up the house rent. In this case, regions will take up the house rent. So we have to at least reserve $2,000 inside the regions on the first paycheck. Okay? All right. Again, go back to our list, taking a look at the due date. PayPal is due on the 27th. Again, that's after the 5th, after the 18th. Boss Struggle is due on the 28th, and again, that's after the 5th, after the 18th. Regions due on the 26th, after the 5th, after the 18th. One Main Financial due on the 28th, after the 5th, after the 18th. Okay, so we have no issue at all. The only account that might give us a problem would have been this house rent and the fuel. For the fuel, we have enough availability on the PayPal to cover the fuel. And the house rent, we have to reserve $2,000 inside the account that offer greater liquidity, which is the region's preferred personal line of credit. Okay? So which means now the remainder will go to the account that offer greater results, which is One Main Financial, 33%. Okay? Total, the paycheck was $3,287.42, so $3,287.42 minus $2,000. Okay? So now One Main Financial on the first paycheck will receive $1,287.42. Okay? And PayPal will receive $0 on the first paycheck. Remember, again, America, situational awareness. If we have the options to send payment to PayPal, and we have the options to send payment to One Main Financial, PayPal is at 20.24%, One Main Financial is at 33%. Okay? We'll send the payment to One Main Financial. Situational awareness always. Okay? So the account that offer greater results, okay, will receive the remainder. Okay, after you take care of this $2,000 that you need cash or check for. Okay. All right, that was the first paycheck. Now the next paycheck will come on the 19th. That paycheck will take up everything from the 19th towards the end of the month. Okay. All right, let's figure out our numbers now. Next paycheck will be $3,287.41. Okay. PayPal did not receive anything on the first paycheck. PayPal needs to have total $106.93. Okay? So now PayPal will receive $106.93, okay, on the second paycheck. Regions only receive $2,000 in the first paycheck. Now, regions needs to have total $2,483.35. So regions will receive the remainder, $483.35. Okay. One main financial received $1,287.42 on the first paycheck. One main financial needs to have total $3,984.55. So you'll be 3,984.55, 3,984 minus 1287.42. So one main financial will receive $2,697.13. Okay. Total 3,984.55. Okay. All right. And just to double check our number, when we add all these three up, we should arrive at $3,287.41. So now let's run it. 2697.13 plus 48335 plus 10693. Sure enough, $3,287.41. America, our numbers are perfect. Okay. And again, folks, gotta know how to allocate these paychecks. Okay. Always pay attention to the due date. Okay, that way you do not miss a payment. Okay, especially for bills, expenses that you need cash or cash equivalent for. Okay, so now going back to our bills, we know that PayPal is going to take care of all of these. Region's going to take care of the stuff we need cash for. PayPal will take care of its own, so that's PayPal again. PayPal will receive that 10693. Regions 465. Remember, we observed part of it, so this 465 will be 193. 75. Okay. And one main financial will take care of that one. Okay. So how our bills are accounted for. Now the way it's gonna work, the electricity on the 28th, okay? We're gonna use PayPal, whether you have automatic payment or not. If you have automatic payment, it's gonna be taken out of the PayPal. If you don't, so on the 28th, not any earlier, wait on the 28th to send the payment for the electricity. Wait on the 28th to send payment to water. 28th. Wait on the due date to send these payments. Don't send the payment any earlier, okay? Wait on the due date, okay? Because if you send them earlier, you're charging the account, so you're gonna be incurring interest, for that many days that you paid it early. So wait on the due date to make the payment, okay? Groceries, wait towards the end. She's gonna wait towards the end of the month to do groceries. Fuel, she has no choice but to pay fuel once a week. Restaurant, wait towards the end of the month, okay, to go to the restaurant in order to give the account a boost, okay? So those are some of the sacrifices you may have to do, okay? Beauty and skincare, wait towards the end of the month to shop for your beauty and skincare, okay? In order to give the account a boost, okay? Clothes and shoes, wait towards the end of the month to shop for clothes and shoes. Car insurance, wait on the 26th. So on the 26th, you make the payment using PayPal, the credit card, for the car insurance, okay? The allowance, 28th. It's on a region's personal line of credit, so on the 28th, all she's going to do, move the money from the region's PLOC back to the checking account from the checking account, she could sell the money to her daughter for $100. Okay. Prepaid college on the 26th, move the money from Regions personal line of credit back to the checking account. Okay. And on the 26th, you make the payment to the servicer. Okay. House rent on the 8th. Remember, the paycheck come on the 5th. So that money gonna sit in the Regions PLOT for 3 additional days. Okay. This is what we want. We want movement of income. Okay. In these accounts. Why? In order to reduce the average. Because remember, most of these accounts are being computed average daily. They use the average daily balance method to compute these accounts. Okay? So, house rent, money comes on the 5th, but don't pay it yet. Okay? So on the 5th, you send it from the checking account to the Regions on the 5th. Let it sit in the Regions for 3 days. Then on the 8th, from the Regions, move it back to the checking account. And from the checking account, you send the payment to the landlord or to the property manager. Okay? PayPal on the 27th. Okay? Well, PayPal will take care of that, 106.93. Wells Fargo, the account that offers greater liquidity, Regions will take care of the Wells Fargo. So, but in this case, Wells Fargo America, oh, this is very important. Wells Fargo America is due on the 28th, right? Regions, Wells Fargo America is at 18%. Regions is at 15%, okay? We're not gonna send payment to a 15%, okay? And keep the payment inside an account that is at 15%, so later on we could send it to an account that is at 18%. Remember, America, from past lesson, you wait, you lose, okay? Don't keep payment to an account that's at 15 to later on pay an account that is at 18, okay? You always take care of the highest one first. 18 is higher than 15, okay? So this is why in our method we have the C.A.R.E. Condition, adjustment to the strategy, restriction, exceptions. So in this case, we'll make an adjustment. The way you would work is that 74.60 would have been not on the first paycheck because the first paycheck will take care of the house rent. That 74.50 will be on the second paycheck, which will be inside this 483.35. Okay? So, on the 19th, you would have been from the checking account, on the 19th now, from the checking account to Regions, and Regions would have kept that funds until the 28th, then on the 28th, move it back to checking, and then to pay this Wells Fargo, okay? But situational awareness, America, we're not gonna let no funds sit on the Regions that is again at 15% to later on pay an 18%, okay? We don't do that on our method, okay? So, and again, we have to make some adjustment, okay? So in this case, one way you could do it from the checking account to Regions, and from Regions back to the checking account on the 19th again, and from the 19th, well, that's kind of redundant, okay? So in this case, we're not going to move this, 74.60, part of that 483.35, so we're going to keep 74.50. 74.60 inside the checking account, okay? So that's the adjustment that we have to make, okay? And again, folks, situational awareness. So you will not be 483.35, you'll be 483.35 minus the 74.60, because we have to keep that 74.60 inside the checking account. Okay? Not in the regions. Okay? We're not going to send payment to a 15, then we have an 18 on the Wells Fargo. Okay? So we're going to send the payment to the 18 instead. So for that reason, we're going to keep it inside the checking account on the 19th, and on the same 19th date, we're going to move it to the Wells Fargo on the 19th. Okay? Even though Wells Fargo is due on the 28th. Okay? We're going to make the payment on the 19th. Why? In the regions, you're saving what they're charging you. So you'll be saving 15% and get charged 18% somewhere else. Okay? Not a good exchange. In a checking account, let's say you're earning 2, 3, 4%. Okay? Earning 2, 3, 4% on an account, but you're getting charged 18% somewhere else. That's not a good exchange. Okay? So you are better off sending the funds directly from these accounts to the Wells Fargo 18%. So on the 19th, okay, reserve $74.60 in the checking account and send it on the same 19th date to the Wells Fargo. Okay? Even though it's due on the 28th, do not wait on the 28th to send the payment. Okay? And again, folks, situational awareness. That's why we have the C.A.R.E on our method. Sometimes we have to make some adjustment to the strategy. Understand what you have, America. Here, you might be earning 0 to 4%. Okay? Here, they're charging you 15%. Here at Wells Fargo, they're charging you 18%. Okay? We always attempt to attack the higher APR account first, generally. Okay? For greater results. That's how you save more on interest cost. Okay? So, earning 4%. If we send a payment here, we're earning pretty much what they're charging us. They're charging us 15, we're earning 15. Okay? Here they're charging us 18. For every payment made, we're also saving about 18. So what kind of saving would you want to have? 4%, 15%, or 18%? You much rather have, America, the higher saving 18%. Okay? And again, they're charging you 18%. Okay? For each charge, the reverse is also true. For each payment made, you're also saving about 18%. Okay? So as soon as the paycheck touches down the checking account, okay, send the payment quickly to the Wells Fargo. Don't wait on the due date. Don't wait on the 28th. Okay, America? This is how you pay off debt. Okay? So now going back to the rest of the items. So regions, 193.75, because we observe the principal to 71.25, or the excess payment, the equivalent of an excess payment to 71.25. And one main financial will take care of the 513.30 plus everything else. Everything else. Okay? All right, America? I'll give you about 5-10 seconds to take a look at what's on the board, and then we're going to continue with the exercise. Again, all our bills is accounted for. Earlier, when we employ Ambroise's charge pay technique normal, we charge the lower APR account. That's at $2,800. Okay, so we could pay. We charge the lower APR account, so we could pay the higher APR account, $2,800. Okay. Look how many payments we have going to the one main financial. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? 4 different payments going to that one main financial. After everything's said and done, one main financial will have a balance of, let's see, 8,000 minus the total payment. So it'll be 8,000 minus 3,000. That's that 8,000 minus $3,984.55. Okay. One main financial, we have a remaining balance of $4,015.45. Okay. All right. Now, quick comparison between us and what our competitors are doing, that snowball group, that avalanche group, Plastiq. America, for that snowball, it would have been, these folks, this group wants to attack the lowest balance account. And the lowest balance account is, let's see, 4,355 is 3,000, Wells Fargo. So they'll attack that snowball now. They will attack Wells Fargo. Okay. And the minimum payment on Wells Fargo is $74.60. So you'll be the minimum payment plus cash flow. Okay, $400. It's like $474.60. Okay. But let's run it just for good measure. Okay. So that would be that snowball here. Okay. So the minimum payment on the account that has the lowest balance, Wells Fargo has the lowest balance, $3,000. Okay. With them, every other account will receive minimum payment. Your lowest balance account, that's where cash flow will go. Okay. So cash flow will go to that minimum payment. So altogether, Wells Fargo will receive $474.60. Okay. Look at us. $3,984.55. These folks are depressing $474.60 in the first cycle. Look at us. In that billing cycle, not $400, $3,984.55. We don't have $474 going to account. We have 3,900, almost $4,000. Almost 9, 10 times, 8, 9, 10 times these balls. Let's see how many times that is real quick. 3,984.55 divided by 474.60. More than 8 times that amount. And again, folks, we don't have a depressing $474.60 going to account. We have, in this particular example, why? Because we're able to employ one of our superstars, which is Ambroise's charge pay technique normal. We have $3,984.55. Okay? That was that snowball. For that avalanche, you would have been, that avalanche likes to attack the account that has the higher APR. The account that has the higher APR is one main financial, 33%. So it will be minimum payment, $513.30 plus $400, which is the cash flow. Okay? 4 and 5 is 9, so that's 9, 13, 30. But let's run it. 513.30 plus $400. Okay. For that avalanche, $13.30. For us, $3,984.55. Okay? That is why, America, a lot of times I told you guys, you're just wasting your time dealing with that snowball group, that avalanche group, velocity banking group. Okay? We don't toy around with the debt, man. We aggressively go after the debt and trying to get rid of the thing. One man financial 33%. Look at these guys. In the case of that snowball, attacking lowest balance 18%. In the case of that avalanche, attacking higher APR, same women financial, 33%, but they don't go far enough. Look at them. Depressing $474.60, depressing $913.30 respectively. Look at us. $3,900, almost $4,000. On the account, that was at 33%. The biggest enemy, the troublemaker, this one main financial in this particular example. Okay? And again, folks, over at Ambroise Method, we don't toy around with the debt. We aggressively go after the debt and trying to get rid of the thing. Okay? Because remember, based on that statistic where 64% of us are living paycheck to paycheck and 68% of us could not come up with $400 emergency. Okay? So why are you toying around with the debt when you're struggling to pay your bills to begin with? That's why you have to aggressively, America, go after the debt. Okay? For velocity banking, well, these folks, what do? They chunk. They have a dead weapon. And they use cash flow. Okay? For us, over at Ambroise Method, we transfer. We use alternative account for an advanced user. Okay? And we use cash flow. Okay? So they have 3 items, we have 3 items. Okay? For chunk, these folks, they have an exception with ELOC, BLOC, PLOC. ELOC was above 80%, so they wouldn't be able to chunk. Okay? For that weapon, they use the account that offer greater liquidity, that's the Regions PLOC. So for that weapon, it will be Regions PLOC. And for cash flow, the account that they use as a debt weapon will keep cash flow. It will be Regions PLOC. Okay? So 1 savings, 2 savings. Because they're only using 2 items. Okay? For us, transfer, earlier we made a transfer. Okay? We moved bills that could go on a credit card to PayPal so we could pay the one-man financial. So that was, earlier 4,000 to 6,800, right? So we had 1 transfer. For alternative account, Regions personal line of credit, we have movement of income and movement of expenses in the Regions. Okay, so that's 1 savings there. PayPal, remember, we have movement of income and we have movement of expenses in the PayPal. So we could leverage it out and send the payment to one-man financial. And cash flow, we also have cash flow. Okay? So for them, 1 savings, another savings. So they have 2 savings total. Okay? For us, we have 1 savings, 2, 3, four savings. So it's 4 versus 2. For them, 1, 2. For us, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, earlier we transferred, okay, to take advantage of the difference between 33% and 24. Alternative account, regions. Remember, we're using these 3 accounts. 2 of them are alternative accounts. So regions was one, PayPal was the other, okay? And cash flow was one more. So 1 savings, 2 savings, 3 savings, 4 savings, okay? And again, 4 savings versus 2 savings. Which one you think, which debt repayment method you think gonna go past the finish line first? Okay? And not only that, we're doing everything better than they are. For chunk, well, they didn't chunk. For debt weapon, they use Regions PLA. For alternative account, we're using Regions PLA and PayPal. Okay? We don't have 1, we have 2. Okay? And for cash flow, they have Regions PLA. For cash flow, we have one main financial. So for transfer, it will be PayPal, alternative account, you'll be PayPal in regions. And for cash flow, the account that offered greater results was one main financial. Okay. Look at our results, look at their results. They have regions, we have PayPal and regions. They have regions, we have one main financial. Okay? Gotta know, America, how to properly use alternative account. Okay? Regions was not good for that job. And again, Regions PLAC, America was at 15%. Okay? You cannot keep sending payment to a 15% account when you have not only a 33% account on the board, you have a 24% account on the board, you have an 18% account on the board. That's like one of the worst things you could be doing. Sending payments to a 15% account when you have all these other accounts that are higher than 15%. This is equivalent to madness. Cash flow, Regions PLAC, and again, sending excess payment to a 15% account when you have not only a 33, a 2024, and an 18. Okay. Why are you sending payment to a 15% account? You're going to keep payment inside that account for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year as some kind of escrow account. For what? And again, folks, gotta know how to properly use alternative account. Okay? Just because an account offers you greater liquidity, okay, doesn't mean it's a be all and end all. Okay? That's why we're using 2 alternative accounts on our method. PayPal to take care of all the bills that could go on a credit card, and then Regions for the remainder. Okay? Alright, America, and again, 1, 2, 3, 4 savings versus 2 savings in this particular cycle. Okay? So, I wanted to show you guys some of the flaws with the other debt repayment group. That snowball group, that avalanche group, these 2 groups, they do not go far enough in eliminating debt quickly. 470, 460, nearly $4,000, 913.30, almost $4,000. Okay, America? To my financial coaches, okay, and I'm talking about every single financial coach in America, okay, move over to a better debt repayment method, Ambroise Method. Okay? All right, America, I'll give you about 5-10 seconds to take a look at what's on the board, and then we're going to continue with the exercise. All right, America. Again, my name is James Ambroise. I am the author, creator of Ambroise Method 1.0 and Ambroise Method 2.0. Ambroise Method is a revolutionary debt repayment method that offers greater results in terms of reducing interest cost compared to debt snowball, debt avalanche, velocity banking. Thank you, Jesus. Until next time, America. Good morning.